Adam Taxin here with Rabbi Yaakov Fisch at Chaim Synagogue in Jacksonville. This is the Mandarin neighborhood. This is the main, this is the only real Chabad Orthodox synagogue that has a regular minyan in North Florida, I believe. Is that correct?
Non-Chabad.
Non-Chabad synagogue in North Florida. And we're talking about the current Torah reading, which is known as Parsha Beshalach, and that is Exodus chapter 13, verse 17 through chapter 17, verse 16, and we have just finished getting the 10 plagues have just occurred. The Exodus has occurred. Now we're on to other territory here. Rabbi Fisch, thanks for joining me. I have not reviewed this. It's Tuesday. Shabbos isn't for a couple more days. Why don't you fill me and the other people who are viewing this in on what's going on in this week's Torah reading?
Okay, thank you, Adam. Very interesting portion this week. This is the Parsha immediately following the Exodus, and the Jewish people have to find their way in the desert. And as they're traveling through the desert en route to the Holy Land, they've been promised to get to the land of milk and honey. They look in their rear view mirror and they see Pharaoh and his troops, pursuing them. And they've
been through a lot lately at this point.
Yeah,
put it mildly.
Went through quite a lot, and just when they thought they were out of the woods, they look in their rear view mirror and they see the enemy pursuing them, and they don't really have too many places to run because they're pretty much cornered into the sea, and they got the hostile forces back of them. They got the sea in front of them. And they were seized by a panic. And as it says in the Torah, that Moshe told them, don't be afraid. God will perform a great miracle for you.
And we should probably point out, given the weather that everyone's having around the country right now, that the Sea of Reeds was not frozen over at this point.
That's correct.
Okay, just had to point that out.
Yeah, thank you, Adam. So it was... it was definitely a frightening moment for the people, and they were praying hard. And we know the end of the story is that the sea split for them. They were able to get through to the other side, and while the enemy forces, drowned in the sea. And they ended up singing the song, which is the famous song, which is the primary part of the component of the Parsha, where we see this great song. But I just wanted to zero in on a couple of interesting points, and that is, first of all, that when they were cornered into the sea, when they had their backs into the sea, and they were praying, what do they think if they would be able to survive and if they would be victorious? What do they think would occur? They probably thought that they would somehow defeat the Egyptian forces in the same way that David defeated Goliath, or the same way that the underdog would defeat the favorite.
Except that had never happened at this point in human history, really.
Right. It happened, but not on that scale, for sure. But the last thing they thought of, was that from behind them, the sea would split, into two, and they would be able to march through the middle. And I think it teaches us a profound insight, and that is that the insight is that sometimes we have these thoughts in our head. We sometimes have schemes, and sometimes try to envision if things are going to be successful, this is how it would work. Success is defined in this way, and then sometimes there's this whole new alternative that you never even conceived, that just is right there in front of you. Sometimes you're like, why didn't I think of that? This is the perfect solution. And that's what God really showed the Jewish people at the time. Being
in the right place, having the right mindset, almost.
Yeah, they thought that the sea's going to. They thought that perhaps we'll defeat the Egyptian forces, but what they definitely did not think of was the sea is going to split from behind them. And sometimes the least obvious solution is the one that God sends us.
There's one thing, maybe you can touch on a little bit, that I find particularly inspiring about this Torah reading. It's the role of one person here. One person can really make a difference, and maybe you can talk about that and give a little bit of the history, what happened there, for everyone listening who may not be familiar with it.
Oh, yeah,
it didn't just split. Someone took some initiative there.
Oh, absolutely. That's another great point. Nachshon ben Aminadab, God says to Moshe, Why are the Jews praying this long? Let them just jump into the sea. And everybody was looking at each other.
Mm-hmm.
And, Nachshon ben Aminadab jumps into the sea.
Mm-hmm.
He's willing to take the initiative. And he's walking, and the water gets up to his knees, to his waist, to his chest, gets all the way up to his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, Nachshon, what are you doing? And he's like, I was told to go on a mission. I'm doing it. And what that teaches us, Adam, as you pointed out, is, we have to take the initiative to do things.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just sit on our laurels and just wait for God or somebody else to come up and help us out. We have to take the initiative, and then when we do so, we can go ahead and find successes.
I don't know if you're a sports fan at all, but I have something coming to mind right now. Apparently, there was a dramatic finish. I remember this. I fell asleep during the game. I'm from Maryland now. Originally, really a Philly guy, but I live in Maryland now. The Ravens had a last-second field goal. And it became a popular saying. The kicker, it was an unprecedented kick, 61 yards. I think it's the longest in team history. He just said, "I got this." And not to compare what's his name, something Tucker, Justin Tucker with Nachshon, but that's what's coming to mind for me. I got this.
Yeah, I got this. Yeah, you got to take the initiative, and then who knows where that can take you.
Any final thoughts on this? You want to just mention the website and the community here in Jacksonville, which a lot of people are not familiar with, but I'm impressed by how many people come to the Minyan for Shacharis and Mincha Mariv. Tell a little bit about your community for people who don't know it.
Okay, sure. So we have a really nice Jewish community here in Mandarin of Jacksonville. And our synagogue, Chaim, has about 160 member families, and we have a very vibrant synagogue life with minyanim, daily minyanim, as Adam just pointed out, Shachos Mincha Mariv, 365 days a year. We're very proud of our stable minyan. We work very hard to ensuring that there's a minyan every single day of the year. We have a wide variety of classes and social programs as well. So we have educational and social programs for adults and youth. We have Shabbatonim, NCSY. So it's really a synagogue that is a full-service synagogue in the sense that we look at our shul as an important resource, as an essential resource in the Jewish community. So, we're very proud of Eitz Chaim, and we encourage anyone to just come by and visit and just have a really meaningful experience.
Yeah, there are really only two shuls between Savannah and South Florida that get regular minyans. This and the Chabad Sephardic Synagogue in Ormond Beach, which is in Greater Daytona, unless I'm wrong, but that's the way it seems to me.
Well, there is a Chabad here in Mandarin as well.
Right, but the minyan's not that reliable from my experience the last few days. It's nice people, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I'm not sure about their minyan, but they have a shul as well, and we have our shul, but we're very proud of what we have.
Yeah, I've been impressed by what I've seen. Well, I mention this because a lot of people are reconsidering whether they want to live in the Northeast. Things are changing. It's much cheaper to live down here. And there are some benefits, much less traffic and a lot of other nonsense if you live up here. But most people don't know that this exists, I guess you could say. And I don't know too much about the community, but I've spent a lot of time in North Florida the last week or two. So, I don't know. It's nice to meet you, and thank you for the words of Torah.
Thank you, Adam.
All right.
Thank you.